Now we're ready to go and make our surface. I just copied the file and made another one to save progress. To be honest, I should have done one while I was making the point groups, but I was getting carried away and I was on a roll. I would encourage you to make more backups than I do. So now we can make the surface. You can go to the Home tab, go to Surfaces, and click Create Surface. Make sure it's a tin surface. I don't remember what tin stands for exactly, but it's pretty much a triangular surface. If you're familiar with any video games or animation, you know that most things in 3D are rendered through triangle meshes, and Civil 3D is no different. You can name the surface whatever you'd like. I think shorter is always better. You can call it OHIL Survey, OHIL Field, but in Civil 3D, we typically call our existing ground or existing grade EG. This is the shorthand, and so that's what I'll be using here, but you can call it whatever you'd like. I'm also, while I'm here, just going to change the style to 1 foot and 5 foot as background. This just will show me more elevation change than if I did 2 and 10. This is also a property that you can change whenever you want. I'm going to hit OK, and you'll notice nothing happened, and that's because the surface has no idea what it's making a surface out of. What we want is for it to make a surface out of all of our survey data. So under the Surfaces tab and under EG, there's a Definition tab, and this is what we'll be using. You can expand the definition for all of the different ways you can make a surface, but here we're going to use the point groups. So right-click Point Groups and hit Add, and we're going to add all of our survey points here. Great. Now you can see our surface, and upon first inspection, it looks pretty good. It looks like if I hover my mouse over this, we have a low point here at 568, and as you go up the hill, it gets taller, which is what we want. And here it seems to be about 587. That looks about right to me. But something's definitely going on here. That's way too many contour lines for what we need here. So it looks like some points snuck in where I can select the point. The elevation was 520. That's definitely not right. So this is going to mess up our surface, and you have a couple of options to deal with this. One thing you can do is manually change the elevation here and maybe interpolate what it would be or approximate what it would be. But that's kind of like making fake data, which is not best practice. Another option you have is to go out and actually re-survey those points. That's a good option, but one that takes a lot of time. But you're welcome to do that if you want. What I'm going to do instead, to me it seems like we have enough points. I'm just going to delete these. We don't need them. And so I'm just going to click on the point and click my delete key and get rid of them. Is this one also messed up? Yeah, 520. So get rid of that one. Just going to delete that. And I'll delete this one as well, if I can select it. Point and delete. So I deleted those points, but nothing's changing on my surface. Why is that? Well, Civil 3D draws the object when you make it, but it doesn't constantly redraw the object because that would eat up a lot of processing power. So we need to tell Civil 3D to basically reload the object itself. Now, the first thing we need to do is reload the point groups because now those are messed up since we took some of them away. So I can just right click on point groups and click update. And you'll notice those yellow question or yellow exclamation marks disappeared. That's good. I can do the similar thing with the surface. I can just right click and click rebuild out of date items. The surface is out of date now because those points don't exist. I'll rebuild it and you can see that it's updated now. Now it's updated, but these contour lines are still showing, which means there's one point somewhere that is not where it should be. So this is at 575. It's probably this tree here in the middle. Yeah, this tree is showing up as 518. So this tree is an important feature of our site, so I wouldn't want to get rid of it. So the best practice here would probably be to go out and resurvey it, or maybe get the data from a friend. That's something else you could do. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to delete it, but know that you should probably not do that. I'm just going to repeat the same steps, update, and rebuild, and now my surface looks great. I can click on this and I can bring it into the model viewer to look like what it would be in 3D. And that looks pretty good to me. If I kept those points there, there'd be a giant divot here. I can maybe show you that as well. If I can go back enough. Looks like I can. So this is what the surface would have looked like if we didn't rebuild the surface and get rid of those points. And I think we all know that O-Hill doesn't have a 40-foot chasm in it. So that's why it's important to check your surface, check your points, check it in 3D as well, and make sure everything looks right. All right, now that you've done that, you've made a surface from points, you've completed the surveying, and there's just 2 more steps in this deliverable, and they're both pretty short.